Next will Boban Varghese, who is going to purely tell us about the difference between Church Manual and Southern Asia Division, why some policies are missing, why the manuals are nowadays not used, what is the problem in the church, not using the manual, so forth. And of course, the vital part of this convention is the corruption versus accountability and transparency. We may not understand a lot of things which Mr. Sanjeev puts forward, but listen to the call that he makes so that we can understand our role to follow that call. Thank you. I invite Dr. Jacob.
I have no solution on this matter of tithes and offering, but I have a lot of, shall I use the word confusion? Pastor Paul Rajaisia, I can quote his name. Pastor Paul Rajaisia, some years ago, he made a statement. He said, our church will grow only when the pastors of churches are given proper powers and the powers are removed from the treasurers.
Amen.
He said years ago itself, our church is run by money and the treasurers who have nothing to do with theology or churches. It is most unfortunate. Now, Dr. Calvin Joshua morning was telling that we are a bit confused people because we don't know whether to follow the American system or British system. Now, the first confusion for anybody who gets converted starts with offering. Cover is given to them. They are asked to write their name and tithe or whatever, and then come and give, go to the front and give, because they were taught till the previous day by the pastor who gave Bible study, let not your right hand know what the other hand is doing. Nobody should know, because the Father who is seeing from heaven will publicly bless you. This is what was taught till the previous day. And when they enter the church, why to write the name? Huh? And why should I write? Even now I don't know why I am ticking tithe there. Now this American and British system comes into play here. We poor Indians are caught. In United States, I understand, they get the tax rebates when they give the receipts that they had paid tithe. So ours is, we are following, for their convenience, this American method. We all know in many churches, they keep the offering box in the front. People come and they don't write name, they don't write tithe or whatever, they come and give it to God. They pray, bring the money, and then they worship the way the old lady put the 2 pence, they put. Now, how did this system of writing the name and writing tithe or whatever, how did it enter through this American system? Now, the organization, we cannot change it overnight, but the organization has made a system wherein the moment it is written tithe, 100% everything goes to somebody who has nothing to do with the God or religion, the treasurer. He may be working in the organization, but it goes to his hand 100%. When the problem comes is, if there is a economically affected, underprivileged person wants some funds, only when we hear that they had to go up and down the office of the section 10 times to get some nominal 500 rupees or 200 rupees, when we hear that, then we start realizing, hey, what is happening? What is happening? In Numbers, I think chapter 16 or so, we read, every third year, tithe is brought, and that tithe is meant for widows, fatherless, and also for Levites. Now, when I quoted this to some of the pastors, I asked, what is this? Here it is written, tithe has to be given to the underprivileged, fatherless, and widows, and of such people. The answer that is given to me is, Bible is talking about the second tithe. Now comes the question, what is the second tithe? I have never been taught of second tithe. I have always been taught only of tithe. But when we question this question, they give this evasive kind of answer. No, I would like to have answer for this. Because Bible very clearly says that tithe money should also go to, apart from Levites, to go for these people. What are we doing about that? With my own ears, I once heard the treasurer with full of pride and he was telling, hey, Ali ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ನೋಡಿ president ಅವನ ಕರಿ. In singular, this treasurer is telling, call that fellow president who is going. I mean, this is what is happening. That the treasury is being misused obviously. So what are we going to do about that? What kind of transparency are we going to ask? Now, how can we say I am going to give to God when I write my name and they tick tithe and then come and give in the front? Now, believe me, what happens? The people in the office, if somebody is giving huge tithe, that man is approached for all kinds of loans and donations from the people working in the office. You start wondering how these people are coming, because is the system correct? Money is a very sensitive matter issue. They are not going to change. A system is arranged that all the money, 100%, goes to the head office. Now, I am not saying that we should, once it is given to God, we have no right to question. That's final. But are we really giving to, we believe that we give to God, but the system that is established, the American system, as Dr. Calvin correctly said, American system. You write your name and tick tithe, because in the government they made arrangements for tax rebates. We don't get any tax benefit here. Now what are you going to do about that? What suggestion, what ideas people have? And we all go into one comfort zone saying, particularly the women, the mothers and all, they'll say, give to God, God will take care. Don't question, God will take care. No, we want to give to God, but is it really going to God? Big question. For his ministry. But Bible also says in Deuteronomy, tithe should also go to the underprivileged. But it is not going, obviously. What are we going to do? What is the recommendation and suggestion from this convention?
Pastor,
Yes, Pastor.
if you don't write the name, another 50% of the money will go.
No, for that, 1 minute I will just answer. For that, the same Pastor Paul Rajai was so much concerned about this matter. He said, he spoke with Mrs. Watts. I can even quote the name. He said, are you ready to put the box in the church? Let people put the money and the treasury department open in front of witnesses, then let them count. Can you introduce this system in our churches? No answer. Yes, please. Yes, madam.
The churchmen that want the district, they ask question. They say, some of them say, we gave money, don't know where it went, they're not giving district, don't know who took it. See, these are the problems also the local churches.
Madam, if the box is kept and at the end of the service, if it is open in front of witnesses, nobody, I think, will ask for a receipt, because it is now transparent. Yes, please. You wanted to say something on this.
For IMU's contribution, we are getting, because
Immus is different. It is not tithe.
There is a declaration from our
Immus is not tithe.
there is a declaration stating that this is exempted as per 80G.
Yes.
So we may have to check in that prospects for getting a deduction or something like that. Otherwise, tithe is separate, IMU's contribution is separate.
Different, yes.
Are you suggesting ATG is also for tithe?
No, that's what Bobby sir is stating that a place of worship, when we contribute, 50% of exemption will be there.
But it's not there in our country.
Yeah, that's what I need to check.
It is there.
That's what I need to check.
As per tax laws, it is there,
I don't think
But
so.
ours needs to be registered as a place of worship. Most of the time ours is not God. So registered
Charitable
churches.
institutions, yes, there is ATG.
ATG, charitable institutions, that is how IMUS is coming there. Instead of medical and education, that is being captured there, the deduction. For a church, if you're contributing, that is not getting covered there. That's what. I have not seen this, I have not listened.
Or the religious body to the government.
So this matter has to be taken up.
I have some observations. Number one, the scripture never tells anywhere that if you find a man stealing, you have to give tithe to him. Nowhere it says that. Okay? If you find a man stealing, you should stop your tithe to that organization or to that individual. Second thing is, if it does not meet its purpose, they again should not be given the offerings. Because it is not meeting its purpose. God calls us as stewards, to be faithful stewards. The responsibility of a steward is to see that the money is put to proper use. As Pastor Murthy in the Sajdak church said, once you give your tithe, you have no right to ask question. Because it is not your money, you are returning what God gave you. He sounds exactly like that unfaithful steward who buried the money underground and said, I should not ask any questions. The God will take care of it. But the faithful steward was the one who saw that the money will be used and it brought fruit back to it. That's the responsibility of a faithful steward. We have failed. The laity have failed with this mud thrown into our eyes to say that, no, God will take care. God does not take care. God gives you wisdom to do it. God gives you instructions to follow. You are not. When you give tithe to a poor, they have named it as second tithe. There is no word called second tithe in the Bible.
Yes, it is not there.
These are all lies that the church has created
That
to make us pay the tithe.
That is what I am raising
What is
here.
unfaithful should be stopped. The church has, in the last 12 or 15 years, the church has stopped evangelism, blaming RSS, blaming this, that and all that. There is no more evangelism. 90% of the effort of the division is spent in what? Managing institutions, managing committees, managing legal cases. That's all there is. They have failed in their things. Pastor Lakra could shamelessly tell that the union in Kerala has lost membership. Who's going to be responsible? Is he not the president of the whole division, or is president of only of Hosur?
He should have been sacked.
He should be taking the ownership and say, I have failed.
Steps down.
So what is the solution?
It is
As you
time,
said,
it is time that the laity thinks about the use. Mrs. White was very clear about it. You know, there are hundreds of pastors who are getting half their salary.
Some
Why is the tithe not being used to pay for them?
Some
Why
did
is
not
the
get
tithe
money.
not being used to pay for evangelism? Why are we giving? The storehouse is not the treasurer's bungalow that he's going to build there. That is not the storehouse of God. The storehouse is where the money will be used to proper use.
Yes, sir.
We cannot be doing this to some fellow who does his own corruption, to do his own jaunt of travel, to do all this. That is not the purpose of tithe. The purpose of tithe is for the gospel ministry.
They
That is
say
all
it
that
is-
is there. It is not for administration.
They say, some people, some pastors, it is to take care of the Levites, not for evangelism.
Sir, it is never there. You please follow
As per
what
the Bible.
pen of inspiration.
Levites do it. What are the Levites doing? They're supposed to evangelize, take care of the flock, as well as the Great Commission is there.
Yes. So I will tell one incident which happened recently. One of the ordained pastors had entered the office fully drunk. Fully drunk. And they took action, 1 week suspension. So I went the following week to the office and I asked, I'm giving tithe. This money, will it go to the bar for your pastor's fees? Are you going to employ him still? He is re-employed, 1 week suspension. So the tithe that we are giving is ending up in bar, in the liquor shop. It happened actually, it's all open story. So, Brother Bobby, what is your final recommendation, suggestion on this?
Yeah. No.
The first tithe, second tithe, third tithe. People will tell this first tithe supposed to go for this purpose. Second tithe you can give it for this purpose. Third tithe you can give it for this thing. So we have been hearing several tithe. But the original tithe itself is not reaching. That is the complaint. What we should do it? We have to keep on talking this. I think another 15, 16 years, then 100 years will pass away from my side also. So what we should do? We all should have planned it out. Who will tie the bell for the cat? We are only talking. But what is the solution for this? This is the question. Now we are giving, one cover is given, tithe, this offering, that offering. We have got several offerings have been written. But if you want to build a church, ultimately they have to keep asking, church members will asking, we want church, more than 10 years. After that they will say, yes, we have sanctioned church. But no funds will come. Then we'll say, okay, church members will buy the land, then they will give the money, give it. That also they won't allow. You, whatever money you want to give, you give it to the church. We will buy the land. We will construct the church. This will be the final answer from the church. Now what we should do? Mr. Bobby, can you give some suggestion regarding this church building, evangelism, a bulk amount, how we should be spent to the church?
My suggestion is that we can even write a letter to the division, to this division, and say that since you have failed in evangelism, we have decided as lay members to pay our tithe towards evangelism. And so you can assign your money towards evangelism. Okay? Just like Mrs. White used her tithe to pay to the poor workers. There is enough references to that, doctor? Yes. It is very clear. She did pay workers who were not, especially in these areas where they were not getting their money on time. She says, I gave my tithe to them. Okay? You have the right to say that I will give it for evangelism. You be faithful. Take your 10%. Do not touch that. But if you tell the division that we are going to pay towards evangelism, then they have no right to stop you. And the moment you direct it towards evangelism, it does not go to any other section, union. The church will keep it for evangelism. That is one option that you have.
Will it be our association now? Will they take the responsibility of informing the division office and give the copy to the person concerned?
Yes, your church will give you evangelism receipt. They have duty bound to give you. Whatever you assigned funds, the church cannot use it for any other purpose.
If you designate it for a particular purpose,
it is assigned.
It is assigned.
When you put it as tithe, he will take it. No doubt about that. He will say that is my share.
Yeah,
because it is storehouse, my storehouse.
No, it
Great
is
storehouse.
already written. Said tithe money, can we give it? This is meant for only gospel work.
Yes, you can definitely say that. If Mrs. White can give it to salaries of pastors, why can't I give it for evangelism? Ask Pastor Lakra to answer.
Now, there are I think it's a lakhs of employees are there.
Absolutely.
So when you make the salary, you have to cut the PF and so many other things along with that.
Yes.
Then they have to deposit the money in the bank.
We are not worried about that. That is an employee problem, employer-employee problem. We are only contributing to the poor worker who's getting half a salary.
Half a salary, why he is getting only half a salary?
Because they are not running their institution properly.
Mismanagement of
They're managing it poorly.
poor management.
Yeah.
People have no faith in giving their money to the church. So the tithe is dropping.
Tithe is dropping because they are misusing the funds. I agree to that.
Yes.
Then, if that is the case, who should be punished?
The people responsible for management of these workers, they have to first take ownership. See, the Bible says very clearly, woe unto the shepherd whose sheep have gone astray. So who's the woe? Not the sheep. The sheep is responsible. He is supposed to learn the truth and all that.
Yeah.
But he goes astray because of whom? The shepherd. And that is why the Bible says, woe unto the, he doesn't say woe unto the sheep. He's saying woe unto the shepherd who have led the sheep astray. That's the same problem. So you can't blame somebody when he sees that tithe is not being paid properly. He's saying there is corruption. Storehouse is not the church of God. Storehouse is the treasurer's house.
Okay. The money is coming from GC. It is coming directly to the office. We will not know whether how much money we have received.
Correct.
But you can insist office, division office or the president, how much money has come every month. They should say so much it has come for us salary. That you can request, is it not? If you request, we will also shortage, we will try to match it.
That is what Mr. Ishwari Murthy said. Don't ask. It is your responsibility because God has blessed you, so you are giving back.
You're returning. You're not giving. You're returning.
Returning.
See,
You are accepting it.
this tithe money is not our money. It is God's money.
That's what they are saying.
Okay, so
it is-
everyone has got the responsibility of giving every church.
Sir, God's money is, God has defined it how? Okay, God does not take and He doesn't have a treasury office. Let's not confuse that. God has given us instruction and He called it the word tithe. For what? The support of the priest, the preacher, these things. And the spirit of prophecy went on to explain that it is for gospel work, which included the salary of the preacher, it included the salary of this. But today, a larger amount of this money is spent on administrative tasks. It is spent on legal fees. It is spent on building guest room, 4 crores. Where did the money come from? It is spent on bribing, illegal bribings. This is where our problem is. Let them be transparent. This, Concordat President Ted Wilson said, what did he say? That, I will go. And what did he say? We will maintain transparency. We will maintain accountability. How many of you have seen transparency? You're asking the same question. Where is this money going?
Since those days, are they going to do now? What is the action now we are going to take?
That is what I'm
Association.
saying. This
That's what
association should
I'm
write to the
asking the
division.
association. Today association has gathered. Last 2 days we have gathered. We are only talking, we wanted to encourage our church, our leaders. So for encouraging, what should be the first step? If we do the first step and if they don't follow us, then we will stop giving them the further funds.
No, so this is my opinion. It is for this
No,
conclave
this
to take an
everybody-
action and vote it if necessary. But my recommendation is to tell the division,
Yes.
you have failed in being responsible to conduct evangelisms, to conduct these things. Pastors' tithe, salaries were not paid. The people sitting in the division got their full salary, whereas many pastors got less than half, and today it still goes on.
Yes.
We have to highlight it and say,
They have come
you
to
fellows
me
sitting
also.
in the top, retain, they have their house, they get their electricity, they get water, everything is paid for.
One
They do not have a challenge.
particular persons, they are getting everything.
Yes.
One particular persons, they are not getting.
Correct.
They are getting half of that.
The poor pastors are not getting it. The poor teacher does not get it.
It was the same,
Only the leaders get it.
it was the same condition inside the division office itself.
Yes.
Part of them were not given only half the salary and part of them were taking full salary.
Oh, that I don't know.
Inside the division.
That I don't know, but I am told that even now,
Yes.
there are many. Pastor, doctor, you know, right? Pastor Micah calls you and says, I don't have money for my pastors. Please send some money. Okay?
They tell
So,
us
which
also.
means the division is enjoying. They are getting full salary. They went, 60 people went to the GC, full money paid. How much was the ticket?
They were doing more than 5 crores.
Huh? All that went in. For what purpose? Whose money? Did the money grow on trees for them? Money came from only this tithe. Money comes from institutional profit or institutional tithe. That's all that is coming from. Or let them be transparent.
And institution don't pay the tithe. Where is the 20 crores of our housing?
I was in a committee and Pastor Lekra was asked this question. He said, see, we took the matter to GC and the GC said, divisions, this is this is special time, COVID, there is no money, so divisions have to take care of their work, their problems. So he said, so the GC has told us this, so we are telling the same, giving the same advice to unions, you take care of yourselves.
Is he doing a postman's job that he's telling he said.
Yes, when people asked, the division has to support itself.
The example of leadership has always been the leaders make the first sacrifice, not the poor worker.
Yes.
The poor worker is not made to do the sacrifice. It is the leader first. That's why I told you they have protected houses. Today, if the pastor does not pay the rent, he's thrown out of his house. If the pastor does not have money, his child cannot go to school. Even our own STS schools are not willing to give them concessions.
Okay.
I have a question to you. So, how do members of ASI pay tithes? Do they pay directly to the church or do they pay to the ASI and ASI pays it to them?
No.
They pay monthly subscription.
ASI is a different policy.
Small amount, they pay monthly subscription, they pay.
ASI members raise funds. This lady can sit and raise funds. That is not tithe
So funds are just for a particular
for
project.
a particular project.
So
Okay?
it's not in support of the tithe.
No.
No. So,
There is not a
so,
When we hear ASI
so before
contribution, that is
you
the fund given.
before you move forward, let us put the bullet point. So, first question Dr. Jacob asked: Should we have a research done for next 6 months to have a small box based offering collection, or we continue with this envelope?
Yeah, for this,
Yeah, okay.
instead of stopping the tithe in.
Not stopping collection in the box or the tithe envelope. Not stopping.
My view is simple. If you know a pastor is not paid, we can send a notice to the division to say that since you have failed in giving this, and the spirit of prophecy is very clear, we have decided to start sending money directly to the pastor. Still you correct it.
Yeah,
Why is it not we can't take that action?
but there is a step of.
Pastor's job will be taken off.
Yes.
That will be.
So let us see. No.
Ratna Singh did it. Ratna Singh did it to a pastor.
Why are
Because the pastor did not listen to Ratna Singh.
Yeah. I'm coming to that point. Just give me 1 minute. I'm coming. Brother Bobby, see.
Ask a question. Tell about the receipt. They are trying to receipt and no receipt at all as a box.
Receipt should be there. If you ask me as an auditor, receipt should be there. Transparency will come into picture. Okay. Let me finish off, Bobby sir. If we take a very stringent steps like if we hear a pastor not getting a salary, if we hear a teacher not getting a salary, we will write a letter and give the tithe to the concerned individual. So the danger may be that they can lose their jobs. So we should tackle this very sensitively and step by step we have to move it. If you ask me, we can be a legal body registered and a portion of tithe can be given for the lay evangelism to the legal body, 10% or whatever. Remaining 90%, with this it will be a warning to the division stating that going forward, this is a strategy. We are not taking names like this pastor not got salary, this school not got salary, so they cannot attack anyone. 10% will be used, we will identify who is not getting, and we can take the call on that, on the evangelism also. But still, if the officers are with a blind eye, we are getting GC appropriation, we will continue, the percentage will keep increasing to 15, 20 like that. So this is one way of working out, if you ask me like that.
Okay.
So we will use for evangelism, we will use for the needy, they will not lose the job, because we are not quoting any names or like that. So it is a caution for the leaders also, that ladies are not
Okay.
keeping white. It is real TMI, total member involvement.
Okay.
So we are,
Total member involved.
yeah, we are doing Ted Wilson's vision also.
Okay.
So nobody can question that.
If you keep on reducing your tithe, one pastor had warned me, if you don't pay your regular tithe, he will not let you bury your body.
Yeah, that's what, these things will come up. See, that's what I'm telling. We are not stopping 100%. Let me come. Let me come. That's what we are not taking, stopping 100%. We are going step by step. It will work both sides. It will be cautioning them. We are able to do the evangelism to ladies and suffices to some extent.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a culture change. The thought process should be changed. At the same time, if we stop tithe, our division also will lose the power of negotiating with the GC. So let us discuss this and take a call.
Okay,
Step by step.
Good, good, good. After some time, pastor will get 2 salaries.
No, we will see. These are one or two cases. The missouts will not be there. When we distribute these, there will be complete scrutiny. It will not be.
Formation of association. Ours, publicly will call for the transfers, part of it, for helping the
Not to pay salary to the pastor.
society, formation of the
So
society.
that things will pay, so we don't need to pay. This is what will happen.
We call for ladies to deposit, but
Paying half salary is public knowledge. It is not hidden.
yeah.
Okay? If you ask your section, you will know, or the pastor. If a pastor tells you, I got only half my salary, what stops you from calling the division, the section treasurer and say, sir, this month did you pay the full salary? You can do the verification. Why? Is that so hard for us to do the verification?
Not
We
verification.
Are they liable to disclose what they have paid and what they have not paid?
No. You just have to ask, did you pay only full salary or half salary?
What I am trying to tell you is, today maybe 1 or 2 pastors are not being paid for some reason.
Sir, it is not true.
No, but tomorrow what will happen is, that starts spreading like that, sir, almost all the pastors will not be paid salary, and we will be paying it directly to them.
Okay.
They will make us to do it.
No,
That's what their idea will go.
No, see, that will be fine. You know what happens then? The whole field will change.
Yeah, there will be
It will
a
change.
catastrophic
Everybody
shift will be there.
And they will fear.
That's what I'm trying to
You
say.
are not understanding. Fear will come into the minds of the
I have one single question. What is the percentage of offering spent, collected and spent for the division budget? For example, our type rolls, what's the percentage? Like they get appropriation from the GC.
I will come to the numbers in the next
What's the
present.
percentage of our
I think we are jumping fast to the rest of the horse. Everybody has got questions. That is very legitimate. Let's focus on what Dr. Jacob said. First, convince ourselves. Do we want a box set up in front of us? He is asked, do you want receipts? He said receipt is good for transparency. So let's focus on that and answer. Then we can put it below. Then let's go to the next step. Yes, Mr.
Sir, by the way, if only the box is a problem, you can do an online transfer.
Okay.
Today churches
That's
are
another-
already online transfer.
My point is, why is it you can't say I'm giving for evangelism?
Oh, so instead of
You are receipted. You are
all
not
are receipted. What Bobby
The
saying?
local church will spend it for evangelism. You are members of the.
And also to add,
Right to control that. You cannot spend it anywhere else.
The church is,
to,
the church is self-sufficient. We can directly pay salary to the pastors.
It's a different thing.
But the problem is, when they reduce 10%, and then 90% to the boss. Then the budget, what will happen to the budget, added budget for the workers are selling out the expenses? That will be cut.
Let me tell you. See, from
My one more question is, in our church, I'm one of the elders in English church also. Okay, there is a fixed deposit.
Yeah.
For what? For what? My money is supposed to be spent, whereas half pastors are not being paid salary, and my neighbor church is not having a proper shed or a church or a PA system. They are lacking with many things, but my church is having a fixed deposit.
So what is yours?
On top of it, what they're doing is, we want to renovate, we want to buy that, we want to buy this, please give us money, please give us donation. What is it about?
Okay, what is your solution for this, sir?
Money is given to be spent for the purpose.
Okay, but they're not spending. Okay, what is the solution now?
No, you have to understand. I'll tell you about my church.
Yes.
My church has about 3 lakhs sitting in evangelism fund not being used. My church has 1 lakh sitting in poor fund in fixed deposits,
Fixed deposit.
not being used for the poor because we don't know who is the poor.
Yes.
We don't know what is evangelism. Money is sitting.
Treasurer.
I am the treasurer now.
See, we have to. Okay.
So I am not allowing that money to go anywhere. My pastor can, Pastor Alan's son can only spend that money if there is evangelism. He cannot use it to buy mic and this and all that. No, we will not allow that.
See now,
We will not allow that.
Bobby, if you tell evangelism, they'll go for church picnics on evangelism.
No, sorry, that doesn't go there.
no, we will have a set of rules for
My board
that.
is there. My board will say, no, you cannot spend. Poor, it will only go for the poor.
Sir,
Evangelism will only go for evangelism.
Same thing.
let me tell you.
In our church also.
Let's
The fund was not used.
let him speak, one by one.
See,
Who is the pastor?
Yes, Mrs.
this convention program is reaching to the ground levels. Just now, 5 minutes back, 1 hour back, he has given messages. Reggie sir, they are having our lighties are having a lot of expectations from this convention. An output has to be there for empowering the laity through evangelism, God's work, and all. We have to come out of that.
Okay.
This we need to think on that. So that's what we will focus on the outcomes and the strategy of operating for the next 1 year. Next year also will
Right.
be short.
We know within very short time. Now what Mr. Bobby is telling, just 1 second.
Just 1 second.
Ah.
My request is, so this is a very important point. All ladies are struggling with this point. Please, let us come to a conclusion.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
go to the next point.
I'm not going, I'm focusing the tithe only. We have run to other points. I am only focusing on tithe. Mr. Harris said, Mr. Bobby, and Mr. Harry, you said about budget deficiency and all. Forget all this. Your tithe, 100 rupees. If you write on an envelope and say, this tithe money should be spent only for evangelism, what would your pastor do?
That's my pastor. He cannot.
No, that is what Bobby is saying. Then he cannot send it to the division or union or section. He has to send it to the evangelism ministry. It could be evangelist. That is what Bobby is saying. If we state in the tithe and offering envelope tithe 5,000 rupees, 3,000 for evangelism, 2,000 for widows, what would the pastor do?
I tell you. Now what they will do is
No, that is tithe.
the 2,000.
Wait.
Sir, you said 5,000 tithe, 3,000 for evangelism, 2,000 for widows.
Ah.
What the pastor will do is 2,000 will be retained in the church funds only. It will be kept within the church. The 3,000, 50% will be sent to the section, 50% will be kept with the church.
No, the tithe, see, that is what Bobby is trying to say. We must change the perception now.
Yes, sir, according to-
What he will do is what he is going to do.
No,
That is been
what
taught.
the rule. As
Yeah,
of
the
now,
rule. That
the
is how
rule
he is taught. That is how he's been
The
told.
rule is, if it is written tithe, entire money will go to the section office.
Okay, now, so
And the
second
other
question.
money, offerings and other things,
Okay.
50% will be retained in the church, 50% will be sent to the section office.
Right. So listen.
Yes.
So evangelism 100% will be higher in the church. Once you put tithe, say 100% will be in the church.
No, poor fund, yes.
know that.
Widow
I'm coming,
fund,
I'm
yes.
coming,
But
Evangelism.
evangelism, 50% will go.
It is not, you see,
See, thank offering, birthday offering, church offering.
there is no line called evangelism.
I think this should be confirmed.
Okay. Yeah, there's no
This
evangelism.
point has to be confirmed.
Yes. The type.
Whatever it is, Dr. Jacob, what he is telling is correct. If it's blind picture, it's for evangelism, it goes 50%. But if you say it's for local church project,
Local church project will stay back.
Yes.
But if you say simply evangelism, section will say we are also doing evangelism, give us 50%.
No, it is not there.
So this because this in the tithe cover evangelism is not there. Therefore,
So you are silent. Evangelism, 100% should stay with it.
Okay.
But,
So good idea.
you have to work then on your pastors to do evangelism.
Correct.
That is what we should do.
Okay.
church board.
So
the
here-
church,
okay.
the church board.
Ladies. Okay.
if you clearly write evangelism, it will go to the conference evangelism. If you say it's for local church evangelism, it has to be.
Okay. So that's a good point. What a good point is made. See, we are trying to define certain issues that is not in the envelope. So, in the envelope, if you add one more line called local church evangelism, you have all the right to spend that tithe money into that area, so that your church will do evangelism. Yes, and just before I give Pramila Aunty, just one more, Mr. Dr. Selvam, elder of the Hosur Church, please listen to this. Okay, this was a letter sent by the elders of the Newsweek Church to Pastor G.N. Moses, the president of South Andhra section. Similar case of yours, where the deposits were there, lakhs and lakhs, but one evening, Pastor Richard, who is a son of our current SUD secretary,
What type of gospel work we are doing?
did not produce the year-end balance sheet, and after auditing found there was a deficit of 8 to 10 lakhs. The money that came from COVID was misused. So there was a huge letter sent, and there's a question asked, why the deposit are not used? The similar question. Now, I do not know whether deposits in our church is there. I do not know. But Sanjeev will tell you how much reserves we have. Just hold on a breath. He will tell you how many reserves we have in the Southern Asia division. Hence, they are not doing the evangelism what Bobby is trying to say. The evangelism part is missed because you and me are ready to do the evangelism. So there are a lot of pastors who come to my house. I ask, who gave you the address? The section president would tell, hey, you want evangelism? You want 10 bags, 10 saris? Go to Matthew, he'll give. But he will not remove. You understand the problem with us? Ladies are so humble and very clean. If a pastor comes and asks you 10,000, you are not saying no. Whether you, of course, you will scrutinize whether it's for valid reason, blah, 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 but you never deny. But this has become a trend of excuse to the section presidents and the regional presidents. When they come to ask for some money for evangelism, go to him, go to him, go to Jacob, go to... This is what they do. And this practice has made our pastors also sometimes guilty. They just don't understand that the entire tithe money that comes to them, apart from the salaries, are supposed to be for the evangelism. For their own work, for them to walk, for them to ride the bike, for them to go in the flight. Nobody has stopped any pastors to go from one end to other end by car or by train. Nobody has stopped till now. Their conscience has to dictate. There are some pastors who are honest, they go travel a train, days. Some don't travel a train. I would need flight. But that's all part of evangelism. This has not been used. They've been misused. They've been misused. And that is a concern. So our tithe, as Dr. Jacob says, how do you want to be utilized in a proper way? That is a title, utilization. And he gave an idea based on the biblical concept. But then their problem is, Sanjeev said, accountability will be a problem. Then somebody said, we need receipts. I gave money, nobody is giving me receipts. Then somebody said, no, let us use for the evangelism. Fantastic idea. Now we have to curb all these ideas to say, how are we going to ask the division, section, and to use our tithe and offering? They may say, you don't worry, brother. It's our job. Give, just give. Just give. Don't ask questions. Mr. Lakhara and Mr. Pastor Wilson told one of the donors in Delhi, sister, just give. We are very trustworthy people. Not like Matthew. We are more trustworthy than him. Give. We'll manage the accounts. Sir, these are the retired elders of the Newsweek Church crying for accountability. You, from the Hosur Church, you are talking about deposit. He is talking about deposit. So, tithe must be brought to a consensus. How do we utilize the tithe? Mr. Jawar is asking that question. Doctor.
Give 1 minute to.
Auntie.
I'm very happy and thankful to the Lord that I'm coming from a church where the church members are very generous and happily give anything for the church and do anything. Even those who are not here abroad, they too are willing to do anything for the church. And our church stands first, as Mr. Matthew told this morning, in tithe and offering. And we have a pastor who is as old as my second son. He's very young and he's very honest and doing a very good job. But the problem with him is, single pie he will not take it out. I know a person who gives for the church every week as church expense, for church expense. But once it goes into the church account, he says, church board has to meet, and he never takes out. Even for, I'm doing ministry in the church every Saturday afternoon, we ladies all go house visiting, meet the sick people, and we try to help the people. We go into villages also. But then when we have to meet the transportation expense, either I meet or my sister-in-law, my husband's sister meets, or there are some elder people in the church who are very rich, they are from France, they meet. We have to bring our car, we have to put the diesel and take. And people who give for the church expense also, he puts, even if he has a box in front of the church, and if you put it into that, it will never come. You have to forget all about it. He's a very honest man. I'm not telling he uses it, but he says, no, I have to meet the church board. And then every Wednesday, we ladies meet in our church, and a man came from some other church, and 2 weeks he came continuously. He gave us 500, and he said, put it in the box. Then I told my sister-in-law is in charge of that. I said, no, don't put. We'll keep it for the transportation. And she said, no, you put in the box, I'll get it back. Then when he put, he said, no, I cannot take it, I have to meet the church board. Nothing for, not even a single pie, he will not take it out. And I don't know where this money goes, and nothing good is also done for the, only at the end of the year in December, the Dorcas go meet. And I won't say, there are few, one or two, who wants to take the church money and use it for themselves. Like they come and give the bill to the pastor. Like repairing this, that they were, and I don't want to open it. They are kept as section church representative of our church in the section committees, union committees, like that. And they really take advantage. And pastor, no, it's a survival for him. What he thinks, if he says anything to this person, he will go and complain there. The very next moment he will be transferred. And then he has been there so many years as our church representative in that committees. So many years.
So what she says is there's a blackmail done by the handpicked ladies.
Not ladies.
Ladies,
yes.
handpicked ladies.
Just few.
I will tell the name. He's been selected as the Conganium member. The same person what is selected.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Hosur got the news.
The section president has forced the pastor to select him and send him to Conganium. That's not his problem.
That guy got a quotation from the same shop where one of the church members got the quotation for 4,000 rupees less price, but the price was 4,000 rupees above. Got the quotation plus 1,000 rupees discount.
All this I don't know.
On top of it, they didn't take that quotation at all. From the same shop, they got the quotation for 5,000 rupees more, and the AC is being fixed. But the same person who is now being selected for the
Okay. So not only we have problem with tithes, misutilization, we now, what Aunt is saying is, even the local church expenses are not been managed. in a proper way. So I don't know.
Mr. Matthew,
Yeah.
our main problem is we as laity have failed in being the proper
Steward.
representatives in your own church board.
Correct.
Who are not opening up, standing up and saying, no, you cannot do this.
I'll give you an example.
See, in some churches, in our church, I should not say some church, in our church, all the problematic fellows are put as elders in the board, church board.
Okay, that's been.
You ask them.
Problematic.
The one more elder is there, one more elder is here.
Okay.
You ask these two elders. they
Two
tell the
problematic
truth.
elders. I'll tell you one thing about our church. Very nice, beautiful it is.
Yes.
It is. This is a old system. All the churches, the board members will not write the resentment comments. If I am an elder, I say, I don't want the second floor. They will not write, Mr. Matthew had resented and said, no, he is not allowing. They will not write. They will only write what they want to write. Correct?
All church board actions do not come to the floor of the church.
Yeah, it doesn't come.
There is a board, the board decides.
The board decides, board decision should be approved by the church.
No,
It's only
no.
only year end.
Membership in membership.
Only certain things.
Board decision should be approved by the general body.
General body.
That will- Unless the other is not valid.
There is no general body and there is no church board. So
Church member.
No.
you
No.
listen to a manual.
The structure,
No. Manual says the church board is a general body.
I am authority of church manual. I've read also. 40 years there's a training that we had. Church manual says every minute should be approved.
Sam will grab my mic now.
See, I'm from Prahasapuram Church. Okay, Prahasapuram Church recorded something which the conference didn't want to do that. The Prahasapuram Church read it in the floor, approved it. Then the conference president has to come and agree what the church did that. Same thing, Hyderabad Chapel Church. They had some problem in building something. The church decided something, and they decided not to entertain the union president, secretary, treasurer on the church podium till they accomplished. They had the same, I don't know how many of you know Hyderabad Chapel Road Church, and the union office exists in the same building. But the church board has the power. If they record properly and get it approved by the floor, nobody can overrule it.
agreed. But let us remember, yes, only if the board decides to take it to the floor of the church, it is taken. Otherwise, whatever the board takes action, it is carried. Only the things that go to the floor of the church are like the membership, retention, removal, any of those, the entire church has to vote. 75% of the membership has to vote.
Sir, you are raising a very, very important issue here, because I was under the impression that all the decision taken by the church board has to be brought to the church and the church has to vote.
Doctor
You mean to say church board?
Yes, doctor said, you are said correct. It's a manual that says that the general body should approve it.
So
The reason I tell you, supposing you sanction a money for for travel, our pope and anything, but church should know what's going on.
Yes.
So the church board is a recommending body. It's one recommending body that should get the approval by the general body. And general body is a general church.
I agree with
Yes.
that.
This
I
is
agree with
manual.
that.
If you want, I'll give the manual tomorrow morning. But anyway, idea.
No, everything has to be taken to the
Yes.
church floor.
Yes, everything should be read by
I think
board.
this point has to be clarified.
Yes.
You can clarify it. To my knowledge, I
Would you
do
please
not.
go through the church manual
Yeah,
again?
we
Otherwise
can
we'll
go
late.
through it.
The church manual says.
All of us have the right. You all can, if you don't have the church manual, you can download it.
Yeah.
Please go through it.
Yes.
If that is your privilege, you can demand your church to say that all actions have to be taken. In my church, this is only, I'm talking from my church aspect.
Okay.
Earlier, all the church board decisions were printed and put on the church bulletin.
Probably.
Yeah, you're right. And circulate to the members if possible.
Yeah, but there is no voting. The only business meeting votings or the floor votings are only particular things. Yes, only
Yeah, we
announcement
will
is taken,
announce.
no
See,
voting is
we
taken.
don't counter church board at all, but we announce it to the general body and then raise their hands to be approved. Sometimes even may not be approved, but we believe that board is doing correct.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, that is what it is. It is a board. You have elected the board.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
can remove the board.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
those things are your privilege. Okay. So Matthew, you can.
Okay, so now I will give a time to Sanjeev, Mr. Sanjeev. Most probably, when Sanjeev presents, most of your questions probably can be, you can get an answer to that.
Still, you didn't answer my question. I want one clarification.
Yes,
That is receipting.
that's it.
The reason is, when we keep a box, okay, and
Keeping box anymore.
okay, when you don't receipt, the denomination headquarters
No, we are
will.
receipting.
We are receipting, very good. You are receipting.
Yes, we have taken action there.
Okay, we are receipting, and then maybe you can go through the general budget
Yes.
about the headquarters. Okay, but without receipt, it's a very dangerous trend.
Every church should have a budgetary system.
What to write on this? That's the cover. You have not decided what to.
Right on the cover.
Whatever you want to write, you can write. If you want to type, if you want to first offering.
No.
if you want anything,
Uncle, listen, we are asking ourselves, since there is a corruption in the system, or there is mismanagement and there is no evangelism, how am I, Mr. Matthew, going to give the tithe 5,000 rupees?
Local tie.
So, I have decided now, based on the understanding, that I will take my tithe. I have not told the church, this is tithe. When you write it tithe, then I am telling the church. I know this tithe, my wife and me decides that from this money, I am going to give 3,000 for local evangelism and 2,000 for youth.
and who is supervising the local evangelism?
No, but church is doing, I am giving to the church for
And
their.
again, the church board comes into picture.
Yes, but
See,
that-
pastor cannot handle. I tell one thing, manual
course.
says, pastor has no access towards the money
Of
at all.
course, of course.
Church board and
Therefore-
elders, the church board decides the fund.
Correct.
Okay,
that is why every church should have a budgetary system.
yes.
So you have a ministry, men's ministry, evangelism, youth, women, Dorcas, youth, whatever, they have budget. If I see that youth wants to go and do some good work and they don't have money, should I not use my money, tithe money there? That is the question. That's my conscience. Whether I have to give it now. The Bible says, give the tithe to Levite, widows and the poor. Youth are not poor, but the conscience that you have to ensure that my youth is empowered, that is what empowerment. My youth is empowered, my Dorcas are empowered, we have to take a decision on how you want to utilize your tithe and offering, knowing that the tithe and offering is not being used properly.
Doctor, I got question. Again, again the pastor will get a black mark. They say from this church, no tithe is coming. From this church, particular church, no tithe is coming. And again, you're putting pastor into the problem. And tithe has to be, and I mean, if you are going to divide the tithe for various purpose, then no tithe from your church. What are you going to do? Tell me.
For long, we believe the pastors, believe the mission. Now what happened is, now why is this rethinking now? Why you are rethinking about the tithes and offerings now? See, in Tanjavur, the church board has sanctioned 600 rupees every month to 4 of the elders to do evangelism. See, the reason is, I tell you, you don't worry about the pastors at all. Now listen, you don't worry about the pastors, pastor welfare, but you don't, that's a mission work. That's number worry padi thave illa. No, listen sister, why do you worry about the pastor? They are agents of the mission.
Okay, so,
That's not our worry at all.
okay, so here, okay.
Poor pastor.
Yeah.
They have not get salary, they got a family, they got children.
Yes.
What are they going to do?
Okay, you can sacrifice either of that.
Academic time only half salary, one person working, one was not working.
Okay,
Half salary you are getting.
his favorite pastor. What can we do? Okay, we can sacrifice 2 things. Either we sacrifice, auntie, either we sacrifice evangelism or sacrifice the pastor. How many of you want to sacrifice the pastor? Sacrifice the pastor.
As a worker, I know what.
I want to know the balance sheet of all the offerings that we have in the mission.
Okay, we'll get it. Listen, sir.
Dear lighties.
No, listen. We have got more than lakhs of crores, the mission can pay to the salary to the workers.
Yes.
Yeah, even if you don't pay time.
They are not paid.
But let Sanjeev give his report. Then we will understand.
understand how much money they have reserved.
See, I request, I beg 15 minutes. Okay, I beg only 10 minutes.
Let him finish because our chief guest is on the way. He's on the way, so he will be across any time. So let him finish.
Okay, good evening, ladies. It is very good to meet you all in this convention. You want to see the numbers? You want to see the numbers? See, before I could touch upon transparency, accountability, I'll just take you through how big our church is and to get an overall picture. So morning we are little bit clear. On the way of GC structure, how it is getting structured to the service DA, then the other units. So service DA has got approximate 80 units. So let's have some approximate numbers so that because it will not a complete blank page for us. We have to be empowered with the information so that when we talk to the local churches are also clear with the data and all. Next slide, please. So this is our mission. So this has been published in the month of February, which I have read it in the Division Church. We have around 95,297 churches across the world. This is the overall world data. We will come into the numbers of this. So companies we are talking about Service DA, Maranatha, Hope Channel. So all that.
That is not companies. That's not the companies means that churches are formed but not regularized churches.
It's called company.
Yeah, this is 72,975.
Gathering of believers.
Okay.
That is church. They call it company.
Home churches. Yeah.
Home churches.
Before dedication of the church.
Home churches.
So that is the company.
They call it
Okay.
companies.
So the membership is around 2 crore 19 lakhs. This is the statistics. Then the authenticity of the membership we will check out whether plus or minus like that. So these acquisitions and like that is 10.7 lakhs. So what is the average? Pardon? Not value. These are the numbers. 2 crore 19 lakhs is the church membership.
What is the accessions?
So this is like forming and merging, joint ventures, clubbing.
Okay.
So the acquisitions. So no, that is the wording in the website. GC every year we are translating. So average church membership last year is 234.
Accessions are deducted, right? Yeah.
So average church membership is 234. It has dropped to 230. So in a span of 12 months. So this shows the rate of evangelism, getting the new believers into the church. If you see the treasury report, the complete revenues comes to around 1739 crores. It is open in that. There is a system of unallocated funds, allocated funds, net assets released from restrictions. There are two types of donations. One is restricted donations and one is unrestricted donations. Restricted donations are being used for the purpose of given. For what purpose it has been given, that purpose only it has to use. Unrestricted donations can be used for a common cause. This unallocated number of 13 crore 87 crores has been, the major part is from tithe. The major part is from tithe, then the offerings, then the other donations, like that it comes. So this is the audit report shows stating that GC has got 13 divisions plus an insurance company plus other aligned units. GC is not confirming what are the other aligned units and it is not willing to combine the insurance company numbers. It is a plain report given by the auditor. Our GC sessions will, like how we are having an annual general meeting, it may be in US. US has to follow US generally accepted accounting principles, and the auditor will give a report based on the generally accepted accounting standards, GAAS, GAAS, like that it comes. So it may be our GC meetings will be a form of AGM also there. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, this I have already explained. So the IFA is being used for getting the loans for the division units. Next. So this is the brief introduction on the bigger picture. So now transparency, when we see for a profitable company, for a company's corporate industries, what is the main agenda? To make the profit and share as a dividend and all. A cooperative society is nothing but 100 families put together or a particular community put together. They want to use the synergy benefits. One has got a milk, one has got other product, dal. So there will be a synergy benefit. Cooperative societies are also taxable except a trust. So, but for a non-profit organization, what matters is, for a profit organization, what matters? The profit. For a non-profit organization, what matters is they are not bothered about the profit. Even the profit is there also, it is not getting taxed. The transparency is the major key. You start a project, but invest it correctly and do it. If over a period of time the market is not there and we are not able to make the profit, also not bothered, but transparency should be there. I will brief you where the transparency is lagging based on the Regis shared some documents. I am not able to go through all the years of the documents, but main 2-3 catch points I will tell. Yeah. If you see the audit reports, there are two, we can mention as an action plan also, Anilji, after this. Auditor has clearly mentioned that there is no record of asset registers. There is no record of inventories. Okay, these two. And also there is no proper provisioning done for the retirement benefits. I will touch upon these three. When I say retirement benefits, there are two types of retirement benefits across the globe, even US also. Retirement benefits, retirement benefit plan, retirement contribution plan. Retirement contribution plan is like Sarvista will contribute some amount to some agency, 100 rupees, and they will give a benefit of 100 rupees. But we are under retirement benefit plan. So whatever the medical expenses, PF for the workers, so we cannot deny that your expense is 7 lakhs more. If a surgery has to be done, if an expense is 7 lakhs more, we are not having that policy and all, because we are under a retirement benefit plan. All the benefits should come irrespective of the amount. There is no amount limitation. This is very important. GC is following that one only, retirement benefit plan. Our service is also having the retirement benefit plan also. But where is the gap? The gap is in provisioning for that amount is not happening sufficiently in the books of accounts. It has been given in the auditor's report. So one of the points should be provisioning for the retirement benefit should be done before closing the books of accounts, so that all the retirees will get proper PF, medical benefits irrespective of the amount of the expense. So this process also we have to approach an actuary. Actuary will do based on the age limit and the next 10 years, human life, so many other factors are there. Then he will recommend a number. You provide 50 lakhs because you have this many employees, you provide 50 lakhs so that it will suffice the retirement benefit. So this should be there. And also there are inventory records are not there, whether it is a school or anything, a publishing house. So proper inventory is not there. How much is the raw material, how much is the FG? For our FG is books when we are selling from a publishing house. So these registers should be maintained to get a transparency. This can be one of the recommendations. We see so many reports stating that provision for debtors. Debtors will be coming in the place where a business transaction is there. We will sell the goods for credit and he will give after 30 days or 60 days. This seems to be, we will not be noticing, but a lot of fund can be taken out from this provisioning for the debtors and writing of the debtors. Where is the real money gone? Where is the real connection gone? Has the bank balance has been increased for that? Who is asking these questions? Why to write off so many debtors? Like, is it a dummy sale or is it a dummy numbers? So there should be, we need to stress upon that wherever the provisions of doubtful debts are, because I am coming to the exact points where the gaps are there. There should be proper listing when we are doing a provisioning of the debtors. so that it cannot be a dummy sale. Because tomorrow when we write off, no need to being accountable for that amount. It can be going to the some other thing also. There are chances.
There's one more thing which is very important. The capital work in progress is always there in the book. It's been carried forward and on, and there's a big amount of money that is included in capital work.
I'm coming to that. Yeah. So as you're telling, we have already captured this as a due diligence audit in our one of the points. So why we need independent directors from laity, women directors. So women directors, we can link it to the company's requirement. Independent directors, we can link it to the, so the due diligence will be there for across the process. So if this is getting achieved, this will be all forming part of the action plan for that. A proper fixed assets register will be there. What are the lands are there? What are the title deeds? Is the land, title deed is there or not? BDO, block development officer approvals are there or not? If it is not there, or we need to get into that. So that is what the due diligence means. So the real thing is there. I am surprised, not only year after year, same comments. There is no improvement. Auditor also giving the comments, same repeating. Inventory not there, asset register not there, data is written off. So,
Compared with the balance statement, they will
Yeah.
not be submitted.
I want to help you in this. I was in charge of water project traveling all around 48 schools. Here in Vijayawada, a school wanted water supply. I said, I have a budget, I can give you the money, get the approval, and tell me the expenses, we'll do it. But the municipality was asking for the paper of that land.
yeah.
The school building is there. But unfortunately, we don't have papers. It's not only there. Many institutions have this problem.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, you can mention it, title deeds. Title deeds includes the registration document, survey number.
Tax receipt.
Yeah, that will be like a registration tax receipt. Block development officer. If you see the Krishnagiri area or any, it may be a different name. So,
Maintenance of ATR is very important. That is what every time the auditor was asking, where is the asset transfer record? They have no asset transfer record, buying and selling.
so that will come under as a sale deed. ATR is nothing but a sale deed.
Yes, buying and selling. But
So these are the fundamental documents which, because our IFA is based on this, the loaning, everything, funding is based on this very prime properties, very prime important things. How these properties have come from our tithe and the GC portions. So these are all linked with our contribution also. Why we have to voice up like that. So physical verification and administrative, this is again a statutory compliance. If you remember World Vision is a very good organization up to 90, 95 like that. It has cracked down because of only one case where their operating expenses are going up beyond 50% of the receipts. So all the credibility of the World Vision has come down. So this will be again but our receipts are far more below them. If you see our report, we are not crossed that is compliant. Next slide. So this can be taken up with our offices, division offices like MS reviews, they can do at least quarterly once on the performance of the schools, on the performance of the hospitals, and on the, yeah. I'm telling the key points, how to implement also we will tell them. If
We are going to have a day director in one of the directors list. I think we believe the day director should have access to us, IFA and all the details. See, we have lay member must have access to us it, to go through it, to look at this property, everything. I think the day director will do it.
Okay,
Right?
next. Let's see. Yeah, this is the question. So this we can decide it now or later also. It's up to you.
before that, we missed one critical point on the water side. Before that, the controls, key indicators controls. See, we are not able to manage this come out of this PF camp, provident fund scam?
That's what I told, the actuary valuation. Actuary valuation, that's already covered. So when I told the actuary valuation, so provisionings has to be happen for the retirement benefits, whether it can be gratuity, pension, this one medical, PF, everything will get covered there. Next. So the action plan will be either we will be registered as a legal body and support the church growth at the ground level, that we have to decide upon. And that's what we, for working with the local churches, now we are doing like whenever on Sundays we are meeting, or whenever time permits we are fixing a date and discussing. But a continuous engagement has to be there with a mission to make this getting implemented. So we have to keep thinking in those lines, like for example, North American division can dictate terms to the GC, but it is not the same for all the other cases. Next.
Sir, can you please elaborate on the last point?
Lay member. Select lay members, put a
Shall we work as a registered legal body, layman association of SDA? This I have kept it in the group also.
Yeah, we could
So the point is, you want to add upon?
Yes, actually we have to take the towards that.
Yes, sir.
And last point, select few laymen as full-time employment for layman association working. So this requires detailed study.
Detailed study. These are only a thought process, which we are discussing now.
then we have to pay all this.
See, over a period of 5 to 10 years, sir.
If we start thinking on that last point also.
Yeah, over a period of 5 to 10 years, I'm telling, this will have a good push.
The second point has water.
The last point is.
First point will guide the second people. First point will give the sufficient.
It gives the base for the second.
The
Yes.
last point, I think with due respect to late Anil Robert, was a man we are missing. He was fulfilling that role, but he was not paid.
Yes.
But he was given some help from others. That we don't have, it's a personal help, we want to have. But that kind of people is what you are talking about. We need somebody who could really dedicate their time, their efforts as full time. And I think we have a lot of people.
So if you ask me straightly, for example, a young person, instead of joining a mission, our Adventist mission, he can join and we have to calculate his 5 years remuneration and do that.
Is it a problem that Reggie is suggesting that some of the people volunteers can come, but even then we have to pay another year and we have to generate funds and the society should employ such people and eligible people to look into this matter.
That we have to work out the.
How to generate funds for this association?
That is
Next question.
And today, Mr. Harris will declare, the
Yes.
director,
Yes.
he is the first person to fund.
Yeah, surely, in front. And I see that every church, I see that in Jammalong, every church has got a slicing some fund for the church board towards this organization.
definitely over a period of 2-3 years time, once we seamlessly continue this, because the ground level churches are very much interested in the ministry. They are fed up of. See, we ourselves are not able to read the messages and get disturbed on certain news and all. So
Why not go to church? Retain the church for 1 year, tithe office. Because they wanted the pastor not to be inducted or not to be transferred.
Yeah.
So they held it. Whatever, nothing happened. The organization simply ignored, at last, solve the problem.
So next slide, sir. Also. So just this is a briefing on the proportion of the income, how our mission is using. Tithe, income, offerings, donations, investment returns. So this I want to touch upon. This is invested in mid cap, small cap, large caps, stock exchange, openly.
Is it? This is the whole
100%.
the whole church.
It is a world church. So 39%. See, 39% is from the tithe. 29% is from the offerings, 0.1% from the donations. From the stock market, it is 2%. Which is stock market from the 2%. Gifts and bond gifts is 10%.
Why can't in 7 days, SCB also they can do this? Stock market investment. It's like this, right? There is a policy that we don't play with the stock.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I want.
So these are the bottom lines, like 2% is from the stock exchange returns, 68% is from the tithe and offerings. 68% is from the tithe and offerings. If you see, I have seen one of the balance sheets, our SUD tithe is more than the GC proportion. So our layman tithes, with the layman or all put together, our tithe is more than the GC apportionments. GC will send some money. So we are the main stakeholders.
We want more members in the committees.
Yeah, we are the major stakeholders. And also, let me tell you, and also over this Southern Asia division is capable of having a more membership in the world church also. That is a bigger picture. We will get into that. We have to get into that stage. But let's work on this. Yeah, next. So this is what still now we are discussing on that. I kept it at 10% of for this. That is again debatable and all. Things laity organization will do with the tithe. Support true mission workers who are not getting salaries. This is the plain English I am using. Appoint full-time employees to run laity organization, addressing the issues of SUD, getting the real-time information of SUDs like membership, funds, its utilization. Closely working with local churches to ensure laity members is first and second elder. The laity members sitting in this convention, next convention may be in a different place, but all the first elder, second elder should be very much committed for the laity at the local churches. Then only this is possible. We need more hands of the like-minded. Over a period of time, it will be a culture. This culture, now it started, so we have to carry on like that. To improve the connectivity of laity with judicial system. This is, again we will discuss on that. With above mentioned, laity organization will become a significant, vital and integral part of SUD decision makings. So that we cannot be an independent, but we have to support the leaders wherever required. Leaders also will be getting changed over a period of time. So this is what I want to communicate. So let's hope that.
Item 4, Mr. Jain, can you put with tithe and slash offering so that people will not think that tithe is used for running organization.
Yeah.
Tithe slash offering.
We will do that. So the bottle points like actual valuation is required, provision for retirement benefits is required, title deeds for the properties is required, and independent directors in the board. So these are all the things we have to represent through a letter or somewhere it has to get communicated. And at the ground level, we as a laity organization, we have to plan, give a start. It may be small only. It may be 10 members or 50 members also, no problem, committed. It will keep growing on its own. But we need a commitment numbers only, 10. We need not have a very big numbers also. Give a start. We have already given a start now. So now we have to keep working. Since we are already engaged in various other activities, a dedicated resources has to be there. God will provide the funds. We will keep praying for that. Over a period of 5 to 6 years, definitely our division itself will get changed.
You don't need to run that.
Yeah. It will be a family working. Now it is already complete separation kind of thing happening. Thank you all.
It looks technical, some people may not understand it, but it has covered every aspect that we as laities would like to see our tithes, offerings, our donations, our well-wish funds to be utilized in the right pocket. However, it is not necessary for us to be very inquisitive, very, we don't want to become auditors. But sometimes when you see things are wrong, then we have the legitimate question. Now, for example, Sanjeev, I sent a message to Sanjeev from Hyderabad. Pastor Alfred Raju, wonderful treasurer, retired. He sent his burden to me. He says, please, that's the word, close the corruption as much as possible. Please, ladies, you can do it. And that is a blessing and that's a prayer from him. So we've got lot of supports, as somebody said now. Groundwork people needs ministries. They're not engaged in, they don't want to know about the politics. They're naive actually. So we will work on that. And the salaries and all these issues are becoming something that we need to sit, form a committee and decide on it. Because as some said, if we start paying half salary to pastor, his job may lose. Yes, that's a risk. That's a risk. So it depends on the pastor, whether he wants a half salary from us or doesn't want to have half salary from us. All depends on the pastor too. So all this risk must be studied in a small committee. This is a way forward, a sustainable and a strategic movement that has been established by Mr. Sanjeev. I really thank him for the shortest time I gave him. Actually, he gave me a lot of, he's helped me a lot in this. I should have been doing this, but he has done it for me in the shortest time. I thank for him. Now, the other portion, if you can, Mr. Anil, put all this into under the section of Dr. Jacob and Mr. Bobby and Sanjeev. We will be appreciating it.
Modification we'll do.
We can do it later on. We can do it. So today what we will do is, we will do an Hosur declaration based on all this. Once the chief guest comes in, our DGP sir is not coming for some good reason, is diverted, but our council, chairman of the Karnataka State Council is on the way. Yeah, so he will come. He's a very good person for ladies, for all denominations. He wants as much as possible the ladies to do work. He doesn't believe in these pastors and leaders. He knows they're all corrupt. So he is a person who always wants to do that. So he's holding 30 crore rupees for you, ladies, in Karnataka. I can't go and take it. And I want to connect ladies to him. Go and explain. And we can take money and build churches. He's got money sitting in his hand. So we'll invite him and he'll speak for 10-15 minutes. He just briefs you what is his idea of lay evangelism and lay approachment. And then we can conclude. But between that, we got to finish the last two portions. The woman's role. Okay. Legal bodies. Legal bodies. We all know how many legal bodies we have, right? We all know. Some people may not know it. We've got so many legal bodies. They have been registered as trust. Some are registered as society. There is a problem in the functioning of these legal bodies. There is a school called in Bombay, Sanpada. Physically it is in Bombay, under the West Indian Union. Logically and as per the policy, it should belong under the Ashlock Trust, which manages the schools of Gujarat and Maharashtra. But only one that profit-making school is under the Southern Asia Division. So there is something wrong. Okay. Then there are some other schools which are under Southern Asia Division directly, like Lowry. It's a university or whatever college you call it. Then there are profit-making schools in Ahmedabad, Maninagar, for example. They are under the union. So the question is asked, why was this Ashlock Trust prepared or was formed? It was formed to cater the regional institutes under them. But the division handpicks some schools to control themselves. Tell me if I am wrong.
To my knowledge, Sanpada school was built by the Southern Asia Division, okay, in that area they invested the money for this thing to support the division work or whatever it is, and so that is how there is. So division can own its own institutions. All colleges are division institutions. So similarly, they have set up Sanpada School. There is nothing wrong with that.
I have nothing wrong to say that also. Division can hold. But my only worry is, why should COSD hold it?
Costly doesn't work.
Yes,
This is a particular, Dr. Watts has particular interest in investing there.
I can understand.
So this direct.
See, I am talking about geographical position, Maharashtra and Gujarat, held by a Chennai-based company, registered society, division, COSD. So why COSD should hold it?
Is Costly owning it or Southern Asia Division is holding it?
COSD,
Costly?
Yeah.
Then Costly has invested in that school.
correct. So my question is, if that investment of COSD is down there, does it not make any sense for them to cut it off and take the profit and whatever that comes out, income comes out, to serve that portion of the land? See, these are certain things deliberately left. And COSD, because he holds the major schools who are making good money, he thinks, Mr. Daniel Devdas thinks, that he's a king.
No, see, this is not Daniel Devdas' time.
At the moment, I mean, it was taken stand long back.
During Pastor Watts'
Watts' time.
Sanpada School was built.
Correct.
Sanpada now built the school in Visakhapatnam.
Yes.
There are two institutions that are now managed under Costly.
Fantastic. Now he is here, is opening the Pandora box now.
Yes.
Sanpada built a school in Visakhapatnam. Same principal goes to Visakhapatnam, 3 days flight. Same principal comes to Bombay, 3 days flight. Another 3 days flight. It makes any sense?
That is an administrative operation.
Correct. So what I am trying to say is, there are expenses that are being not controlled.
There we don't have anything, it is a private body which is running.
Correct.
Which is a private body?
I don't know if we have.
What is this is where I am coming to know. What are the legal bodies doing for the evangelism of Southern Asia Division?
No, see, this is where it is that unless we have a say in the structure of these independent trusts, we have no rights over them.
Correct.
So that is where
So-
these bodies should have more lay representation. Similarly, there are other supposed to be independent committees
Okay.
which are done, which are not supposed to be structured that way. For example, an audit review committee.
Okay.
Okay? An audit review committee cannot have an employee as the chairman.
Right.
Because what is the chairman then going to do? He
Correct.
is going to do favoritism.
Correct.
Every other employee.
Correct.
It should be independent.
Okay.
The
So,
problem is our church, our leadership thinks that they can throw mud into our eyes and say, I have an audit review committee.
okay.
That audit review committee has no use.
So that's the first point that we have to do, Mr. Anil. The audit review committee must have, I don't know, unbiased members or lay members who could look into a different ways.
Chairman has to be a different.
A chairman must be a non-worker or a non-employee.
Yes.
Correct?
Similarly, grievance cell.
Yeah. Grievance cell also, yes. Grievance cell is a joke. Grievance cell is a joke.
If we do not have trustworthy laymen, then close down the church. You
Correct.
don't have people who can work for you.
You're right. Even it goes the same with ladies. What Bobby says is correct. It goes with ladies. If we are not trustworthy to our own church and we want to do jalra for people who wants to give some kind of help to your children or grandchildren in commission or whatever admission, then you are not a faithful lady. Even that also is a strong point. So I am going to pick up some legal bodies. ADRA. ADRA is very good. It holds the name Adventist Relief Agency. But as per the books, if Sanjeev has to see ADRA's books, 80 to 90% of the projects are non-Adventists. Does it mean that 10% is only the requirement of Adventists from ADRA?
No, Rajiv,
Yeah.
I don't think we understand the structure of ADRA. ADRA receives public funds from governments.
Right.
So which means it is supposed to do non-church based activities.
Okay.
It is a church supported or church entity that voted or brought this body, but its access of funds are mainly from public funds.
So how can we remove the myth or the misunderstanding of the ladies? They say Adventist Relief. Why then they can call something else? World.
No, what is wrong with the name?
Okay. Wait.
From government they're getting from corporate also.
Okay.
Bernard is working in bank.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I agree the structure. I am not worried about, I am agreeing the structure, what Bobby says.
So the company for that funds also. The company is buying advantage.
Yes, that's what I'm coming
The
to.
brand, it is like we are into the
Some-
market at large for
Correct.
the society.
Okay.
So it's only a wrong is going
And that is what it's
So let
made
it
for.
be, let it be.
I am not talking about this intellectual sitting here. We all can say let it be. That's not a problem. It is difficult for somebody in the village to explain.
No, you have to explain it.
If they don't understand, they say you are part of the same team.
No, we have to make people understand.
That is why I said. So explain, ADRA, the structure of ADRA must be explained. We have only one lay representative in this ADRA. So we could ask him also. You know, if you look at the balance sheet, you will never see any Adventist projects at all. All projects in West Bengal, somewhere, which is. But Bobby says right, it's a government fund, they have the discretion to do anything. But what is happening, they're doing under the banner of Adventist name.
See, but the point when they want to the canvas, they are
Many ADRA people are non-Adventist employees.
Yes, okay, this is other issue. But that's their, I say, that's their entity. If that is so, why are they in the Southern Asia division book? Let it be separate. Why should it be in your policy, sir? And you call it as a legal body? You don't have any control over it?
Rajiv, again, I think this is going to be reviewed in the next sitting. ADRA will not be there because now I think ADRA has lost its
FCRA, yes.
in India.
Okay,
That
good.
is why their board meeting had to happen in Thailand and not here anymore.
ADRA man is there. He was there in ADRA before. So, ex-ADRA man. So here it is, tell me. Wait. This is a very important statement is made.
ADRA is a charity wing of Adventist Church. ADRA policy says the management role staff has to be an Adventist. But when they advertise for a post, they don't ask for church background or anything. And mainly the interviewer is a foreigner. He doesn't understand. So he just checks for the qualification and the skills that he needs and he appoints.
So there is a policy violation there. But anyway, as Bobby said.
The only control that the Adventists have on ADRA is the division president is a member on their board.
That's all.
There's nothing else.
So he gets the benefits and we don't get anything for them to be a legal body.
So if, for example, the church desires for something for public benefit, ADRA has funded. For example, the oxygen plants in the hospitals.
Yes.
ADRA funded it.
So can we then,
ADRA took money from other churches.
picking up from Bobby, can ladies then start thinking about projects and we can recommend to our
ADRA board is supposed to be chaired by the division president and ADRA director is the secretary of the board. ADRA secretary decides all the board affairs.
That has changed because the ADRA director has not got a visa to come to India.
Okay. So this is a critical issue. Okay.
Same thing in Nepal also. Only the ADRA director is in Nepal, the ADRA director, Paul Delahanty and whoever followed and before, only they are from GC appointed. Whereas even till date, the CFO, she is a Sherasta and she is a Hindu. And the whole team, if you see, it's Hindu. I have done computer system installation during 1990s. Okay? Very sorry to tell that in order to sell my product, we have to bribe them. That was a condition of that ADRA there.
Yeah, but see, since we have no control and since it is not a body of the Adventists,
Okay. So the vital point is, since they are part of the legal body in the procedure, in the policy, it is our duty to ask whether this ADRA is beneficial for us. How was it benefited for the last 5 years? Bobby says there are a lot of projects like oxygen plant. If they have done it, are we then shortfall of our projects to be recommended to them? His ladies, if the ladies need some projects, can we recommend to them? That's the way to go, isn't it?
see, you have to take it to your union, the union has to take it to the division has to recommend it to ADRA then will consider their vote.
Correct. And that is why one of the pastor asked the field ADRA man, and what he said to this pastor, you mind your business. Pastor asked the field ADRA man that, sir, you are bringing money, sorry, it was not ADRA, it was Maranatha. And he said, sir, you are bringing money and investing, it is very good, we are very happy that you are bringing more. But tell me, why is my conference president asking 35 lakhs to given back to you? He said, it's not your business. It's not your business.
Again, see, basically they are all independent bodies. They can do what they want to.
Okay. So, how do we cut these independent bodies for wanting them, excuse me?
See, you are not paying any money, they are doing their own fundraising, they are taking maybe from abroad and coming.
No, but then don't bring into the church books.
It's not, Maranatha is not in the church.
Maranatha is there, no?
No, it is not a supporting ministry of the church.
They are not supporting. Okay, good. So it's good for us. Okay, we talked about COSD, the richest controlling body. We talked about IFA. In IFA, there is a lot of issues that has been disclosed by Sanjeev. We need to see how we as a laity can partake in stopping the selling of lands. This is what the laity are asking us. How can you stop the selling of lands? Yeah.
There is a serious problem with the way these trusts are registered. These trusts are now allowed to even mortgage properties.
Excuse me.
There are means and ways we will discuss offline.
Okay. Okay. I mean, they have settled.
So their whole structure is a sham.
So can you write, Daniel, the IFA structure need to be reviewed? Is the structures and the sham, whatever you want to call, they are totally messed. IFA at the moment is messed. The ladies don't want any land to be sold. Can that be okay?
IFA fixed asset should be due diligence has to be.
Okay, IFA's fixed asset due diligence has to be done. Indian Medical Education Welfare Service, IMUS. You said that is a separate body. They have the separate accounting system. They are ATG deduction also is there. But during the COVID, the IMUS money was not released for many places. Is it that they didn't have the money? Or didn't have the heart to give the money?
Again, see, we don't have in-depth information about their structure.
Okay.
Money they have.
IMUS have failed
No. See,
in supporting during COVID period.
no. The way it is done is, to my knowledge, whatever that unit, for example, Tamil Nadu, the Southeast India Union, the funds raised under Southeast India Union, 80% of it comes back to the is supposed to come back to Southeast India Union for it to do its projects, its charity and all that. So IMUS gives it back here, and these people are supposed to report back of all the charity work that they do.
Okay.
The unfortunate part is the faithfulness of your union. They may make some fake
Just hold on.
reports, they may put these things and give. The structure is good.
Yeah, just
The implementation is bad.
just invite him. Anand knows him. Candidate, just invite him.
Okay?
Can you arrange the chairs in the room? Can you set the room, please?
Just hold on, just Bobby. Anand. Bring this up. Okay. Right, let's quickly get into this. I don't want anybody to hear about this, but okay, go ahead, Bobby.
So, the structure of IMUS is good. The problem is the implementation.
Okay. So
that is the local recipient of it is not being honest.
end use of IMUS funds must be verified.
Yeah, so transparency and accountability has to be maintained.
Just, we'll have the chief guest who could come. I think what is the next two issues? Can we have the declaration done without discussing this and this? We can, after the chief guest leaves, we can have a discussion on this and then we can close. Democratic election and effectiveness of these 4 issues will be faster. Mr. Kennedy Santakumar, who's a good friend of mine. And we have been working closely for all the Christian institutions in Karnataka, south basically. And he is our, he is the chairman for the Karnataka Christian Development Council. It's called CDC. Can we welcome him with a loud applause? See, he's a humble man. He doesn't feel that, this position gives him some merits and all. He wants to work with all the denominations at par. Yeah, at par. So I want to brief something about him, about my relation with him. I am part of an organization called RIMS, R-I-M-S, called Rashtriya Isai Mahasangam. Basically, all the Christian denominations, we get together to see politically our children are not suppressed, are not being persecuted, are not being. So we work on the same platform, and thereafter we became friends, and we've been discussing many good things about the laities of the churches, lay members. So before I go further to talk about him, I invite him to be greeted with our ex-director and his president.
Thank you, sir.
And Dr. Calvin Joshua.
On behalf of 2 million lay members of Seventh-day Adventist Church, we honor you with the
No hanky-panky. Clear, candid response. And I'm so glad, sir, you are with us in the shortest notice. And I'll just brief you what this lay convention is. Basically, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the laity's importance was not given for some reason, unknown reason. But all the laities, we decided to have a convention and go through certain critical issues that the laity should do to empower the church and to empower the mission, to empower the evangelism. And so that all should happen under the law, not outside the law. And hence this convention was called. And I thought I would have introduced you another guest. He didn't come up, but he had come. He was an excellent person, and he has sent his apologies. But this is what is briefly we have discussed for last 3 days. We had time to deliberate on certain things. You can see on the screen. If you can just put one portion, something like this. We said we are going to work on introducing some lay interaction with the leaders. We're going to do some audits for the administration of the leaders, and then we said we're going to have some membership. Ladies must audit where the members are declining. What is the problem? We'll represent ourselves in the committees 50%. We want to use the tithe and offering in a proper way under the adherence to the government law. There is no beyond going behind. And so we had key lay people who spend time, energy, their wisdom has been put forward in the blog in this. And we're going to declare this as a Hosur declaration. That here in Hosur, we have taken this step so that the tithe and offering of the church board, structures will be all formed in a proper way, and laities will have a more say. As you know, you are a laity man. He always says, I'm for the laity. So this is what we have done, sir. And once you give your small speech to us, your encouragement to us, your opinion to us, we will just declare it as a Hosur declaration, these agendas, and we will follow this honestly so that our church benefits, our society benefits, and more importantly, we support the government for doing all the best for us. Chairman, he is also our National Secretary for RIMS for South India, and we exchange our honors each other. We have been working for last 2-3 years. Our president was here, I couldn't come, Dr. Prabhakar Turkey. He, on my behalf, have hosted him. and was an excellent meeting. He called me and says, we had a good meeting with Prabhakar sir. Prabhakar Turkey was is one of the ex-MLA of Jharkhand area, but very nice gentleman. So we are not only focusing on the local issues of our churches only, but many churches have problem like us, and we all go to him. Go to him. In fact, he's so sensitive. I have given an application against my own church. And he said, no, wait. I will review it, he said. He didn't say, I will access it. I will review it. And that man, this is a person who's very sensitive, who takes time for understanding, reviewing, and then if it is legally perfect, he will do justice for us. And that is what we need. Can we have an applaud?
Thank you very much, sir. Matthew, sir. South Indian language is there, sir. Kannada, Tamil.
Tamil also okay.
Tamil okay, Kannada okay, Malayali, Urdu. Sir, இது எதுவும் வராது சார், தமிழ் ஒன்று வருது. தமிழில் பேசுகிறேன். ஆக்சுவலாக என்னன்னா சார், இன்னைக்கு மேத்யூ சார் இங்கே எனக்கு எதுக்கு கூப்பிட்டுருக்குறாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இங்கே வரைக்கும் எனக்கு தெரியாது, இங்கே வர வரைக்கும் எனக்கு தெரியாது. ஆக்சுவலி எப்படி ஆகிட்டு இருக்குதுனாக்கா, இந்த பொலிட்டீஷியன்ஸ் விஷயம் எப்படின்னாக்கா, இப்படி தான் ஒரு பொலிட்டீஷியன் இருந்தார். எப்படின்னாக்கா ரொம்ப பங்க்சுவல் பொலிட்டிஷியன், ஏன் மாதிரி தான். நான் 5:30 மணிக்கு சொல்லியிருந்தேன் உங்களுக்கு இல்லையா சார். நான் 4:30 மணிக்கு அங்கே பெங்களூரில் விட்ட ஏதோ ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் இருந்துச்சு, அது முடிச்சுட்டு 4:30 மணிக்கு அங்கேன்னு கிளம்புன்னு 5:30 மணிக்கு வந்துடுறேன் சார். 5:30 மணிக்கு உள்ளே வந்தேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் நான். எங்கேயோ ஒரு பக்கத்துலேருந்து அது ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகணும் அந்த டிஸ்கஷன். இல்லைன்னா என்ன ஆகுதுன்னாக்கா சார், கவர்மெண்ட்டில் கொடுக்குற சலுகையை யூஸ் பண்ணிங்க சார். என்ன பண்ணுறான் இவன் முஸ்லீம்காரன், இது கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் பொறுக்கிறான் சார். அவன் கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் பொறுக்கிறான், கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகிறான், கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் காலேஜுக்கு போகிறான், கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்கிறான், கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறான், கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் வாழ்கிறான், கவர்மெண்ட் துட்டில் செத்து போகிறான். லாஸ்ட் வரைக்கும் அந்த லோன் திருப்பி கட்டவே இருக்குல்ல அவன். அது ஜாஸ்தி ஆகி ஒரு 2000 கோடி 3000 கோடி 10,000 கோடி ஆன பிற்பாடு சார் அதெல்லாம் மன்னா பண்ணுங்க சார் போயிடுச்சு. இந்த மாதிரி வாழ்ந்து அவன் புள்ள வந்துனுக்கிறான் சார். இன்னைக்கு யூபிஎஸ்சியில் ரேங்கிங்கில் எச்சு கடமை 5 ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர் படிச்சுன்னுக்கிறான், வந்துனுக்கிறான் ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர். நாட் ஈவன் நம்ம கிறிஸ்துவ ஒரே ஒரு ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர் இல்லை. இதில் முதல்ல என்ன சொன்னாங்க, ஐஏஎஸ் கேஎஸ்ன்னா நம்ம கிறிஸ்துவனுக்கு இப்படி பார்க்குவாங்க. ரால்பர்ட் டிசோசா, டிகாஸ்டா, லோபோ அந்த மாதிரி இவங்க வருவாங்க. அட்லீஸ்ட் இவன் ஒருத்தரும் இல்லை. இப்போ ஏன்னா இந்த ஜமீர் பாஷா, அக்மர் பாஷா இவங்க தான் வந்து நிற்கிறாங்க. ஏன் இப்படி ஆயினுக்குதுன்னு தெரில. ஏன் இப்படி ஆயினுக்கு? ஆனால் இது சரியான இது இல்லை சார், இது டெவலப்மெண்ட் இல்லை. நான் மாத்திரம் சொல்கிறேன். ஏன்னா ஆயிடுச்சு நம்மளுது சார். நான் இப்போ சரியாக அவேர்னஸ் ஆகலை அப்படின்னாக்கா எந்த ஆயிடுச்சு சார், என் பசங்களுக்கு நான் துரோகம் பண்ண மாதிரி. நான் இந்த சரியான வழி காமிச்சு கொடுக்கல, நான் இந்த வழியில் போகணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு பண்ணலன்னாக்கா சார் இப்போது கிறிஸ்துவனுக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் இருக்குது சார். முதல்ல இந்த மாதிரி இல்லை சிச்சுவேஷன். இப்போது முதல்ல நம்ம ரொம்ப இதாக இருந்தோம், அந்த மாதிரி இல்லை. நான் கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸ் எல்லாரும் அவேர் ஆகிட்டுக்கிறாருங்க. தேர் ஆல் என்லைட்டட். நம்ம பண்ண எல்லா தொண்டுங்கோ, நம்ம பண்ண ஹாஸ்பிட்டாலிட்டி, நம்ம கொடுத்த எஜுகேஷன்னு அதெல்லாம் மறந்து எவ்வளவோ வருஷம் ಆಯ್ತು. அவங்க நம்ம ನಾವೇ ಸರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ, ನಾವೇ ಸರ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಕಟ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಅದು ಚೊಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಒಕಾಂದು ನಿಂக்கிறோம். நம்ம அவன் ಆತ மறந்து எவ்வளவோ வருஷம் ஆயிடுச்சு. இಡೀ கர்நாடகாவில் ஒரே ஒரு சென்ட் ஜான்ஸ் காலேஜை வச்சுன்னே ஆடின்னுக்கிறோம். அந்த மாதிரி அவன் 8, 10, 15 காலேஜ் கட்டிட்டான். ஒரு கம்யூனிட்டிக்கு ஒரு காலேஜ் கட்டிட்டான். முஸ்லீம்ஸும் கட்டிட்டான், வேறவங்களும் கட்டிட்டாங்க. ரெட்டி 4 காலேஜ் கட்டியிருக்கிறான். ஒக்லிகர் 5 மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ் கட்டியிருக்கிறான். குருபா ஒருத்தன் அவன் இருக்கிறதே இಡೀ கர்நாடகாவில் 6%, 7% இருக்கிறான். அவன் 4 காலேஜ் கட்டியிருக்கிறான். இந்த மாதிரி ரொம்ப வேறு ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்குது சார். அதனால் நான் இது 3-4 பார்த்து வந்துருக்கிற ஒரு 20 வருஷமாக நான் கூட இந்த பொலிட்டிக்கல் லைஃப்பில் இருக்கிற கிறிஸ்துவனுக்கு எங்கேயோ சரியான அந்த இது இல்லை, என்னது அண்டர் கரண்ட் இல்லை. அதை கம்யூனிட்டி உள்ள அந்த அண்டர் கரண்ட் செத்து போயிட்டு இருக்குது. எப்போ கம்யூனிட்டி உள்ள அண்டர் கரண்ட் இருக்கிறதுல அண்டர் கரண்ட் இல்லை தானே சார் உங்களை புஷ் பண்ணுறது. அது உள்ள அண்டர் கரண்ட் கரெக்டாக இருந்து அந்த அக்கௌண்டபிலிட்டி இருந்து அதை கம்யூனிட்டியை சரியான வழியில் முன்னெடுத்துருவோம் கரெக்டாக இருந்தால் தானே அங்கேருந்து வெளியில் வருவாங்க. அவுட்கம்மு அது அண்டர் கரண்ட்டே செத்து போயிடுச்சுனாக்கா என்னாக்குது? அப்படி சொன்னா ஏய் பொலிட்டிக்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ அப்படின்றா சர்ச்சில். அப்புறமா பார்த்தாக்கா எதனா சர்ச் முன்னாடி எதனா இந்த காவாகிவா கட்டிக்கிச்சுன்னா ஓடுறான் அங்கே இதுக்கிட்ட கார்பரேட்டர்கிட்ட ஓடுறான், இவன்கிட்ட ஓடுறான், அவன்கிட்ட ஓடுறான். எவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு இதாக இருக்குது இது. அதனால நான் என்ன சொல்கிறேன்னா சார், இருக்குது உங்கள் டினாமினேஷனில் 1008 ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குது, அது இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல, அதெல்லாம் சரி பண்ணணும் நீங்கள். ஓகே, அதுக்காக கடவுள் உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் நீங்கள் இவ்வளோ டைம் கொடுத்து 3 நாளாக உக்காந்து இந்த ப்ராப்ளமை சரி பண்ணணும்னு ஒரு டெடிக்கேஷனோடு உக்காந்து பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறீங்க. அதுக்காக கடவுள் உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் அந்த இதை கொடுக்கட்டும். ஓகே, நானும் கூட கர்நாடகா அந்த நம்ம மாநிலத்தில் இருக்கிற அந்த ப்ராப்ளம்ஸை பற்றி எவ்வளோ ஆகுதோ நான் கூட அது உங்கள் கூட இருந்து அதை சரி பண்ணுறதுக்காக நான் கூட என் கையிலான அந்த முயற்சியை நான் கூட செய்கிறேன். ஓகே, அது எல்லாருக்கும் நான் முக்கியமாக நம்ம இப்போது கிறிஸ்துவங்கோ, ஆனால் என்னென்ன பண்ணுறது இப்போது இந்த டினாமினேஷனுக்கோ ஆனந்தே என்னாத்துக்கோசரம் சார் அதை பார்த்துன்னு வந்து நான் அந்த ஒரு இது அனுப்பியிருந்தாங்கண்ணா எனக்கு. ஃபஸ்ட்டு கேத்தலிக்லேருந்து ஒரு 40, 50, 60 டினாமினேஷனுக்கு பிரியுது, வேறு பிரியுது. அது பிரிஞ்சுது என்னாத்துக்கோக பிரிஞ்சிச்சு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இன்னைக்கு என்ன ஆயிட்டுக்குதுன்னா அது ஒரு ஸ்பெசிஃபிகேஷன் ஆகும் வாங்கிச்சு நம்மளுக்கு. பாரியா நம்மளுக்குன்னா அது நல்லா நடத்தினுக்கிறாங்க, இவங்களுக்குன்னா இப்படி நடத்தினுக்கிறாங்கயா, சிஎஸ்ஐக்கார் நல்லா போயின்னுக்கிறான். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு செல்ஃப் அப்ரிசியேஷனோட இந்த சமுதாயம் வளர வேண்டியது என்ன ஆயிட்டுக்குதுன்னா இப்போ சார் டினாமினேஷன் மத்திய இது என்னது ஃபைட் வந்துட்டுக்குது சார். சார் அவனு இப்போ இதில் கேட்குறான் வந்து இந்த எனக்கே பேஜார் ஆகுது வந்தா கேட்குறான் சார் அவரெல்லாம் கொங்கணிக்கார் சார் அவனுக்கு ஏன் சார் கொடுக்குறீங்க அப்படின்றான் கன்னடாக்காரன் சொல்கிறான் வந்து அவரெல்லாம் கொங்கணி அவர் ரே நாவில் கர்நாடகத்தை நமக்கு கொடுறே அப்படின்றான். 2 பேரும் கிறிஸ்துவங்க தான். ஒருத்தன் நான் இந்த இவங்களது ஒரு மாதிரினா இந்த இண்டிபெண்ட் பாஸ்டருங்களது அப்பா பெரிய ரோதனை. எங்க பாரு பைபிளை தூக்கின்னு போயிடுறேன், எங்க பாரு பைபிளை தூக்கின்னு போயிடுறாங்க. ஏன்னா ஏன்றே சார் இவர் யாரும் கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸ் அல்ல சார், நாவே கரெக்ட் கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸ் சொல்றான். ஸோ அதனால இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது என்ன ஆகுதுன்னாக்கா, ஏன்னாப்பா எப்படி நம்ம பசங்க இதே கிறிஸ்டியன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பேனரில் தானே போட்டாங்க இல்லையா, நம்மளுக்கு கிறிஸ்துவன் சொல்லிட்டு சாவர வரைக்கும் நம்ம கிறிஸ்துவனை தான் இருக்கணும், அவரை தான் நம்ம பின்னோக்கி நடக்கணும். ஓகே, ஸோ அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அந்த பேனரை போட்டுக்கின பிற்பாடு இந்த சொசைட்டியில் நம்ம கூட மெயின் ஸ்ட்ரீமுக்கு வரணும் இல்லை சார். நம்ம பசங்க கேஎஸ், ஐஏஎஸ், ஐபிஎஸ் ஆகணும் இல்லையா, அதுக்காக ஒரு இடத்த நம்ம சரி பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும் இல்லையா அவங்களுக்கு பிளாட்ஃபார்மு, அது நம்ம பொறுப்பு இல்லையா. அதனால போன பக்கம் எல்லாம் நான் இப்படி தான் பேசினே இருப்பேன் சார், பேசி ஒரு அடிச்சு விட்டுனே இருப்பேன். அது எவ்வளோ இதாகுதோ தெரில. ஆனால் பேசாத நிற்க வச்சுட்டா சார் ரொம்ப பெரிய தப்பாயிடும் சார். தெரிஞ்சவன் பேசணும் சார், தெரிஞ்சவன் பேசணும். எவன் புரிஞ்சுன்னுக்கிறானோ அவன் இன்னொருத்தருக்கு தெரியப்படுத்தணும். நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியில் என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்னா சார் அவன் வாங்குறான், அவன் பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற இவனுக்கு சொல்ல மாட்டேன்றான் பெனிஃபிட்டு சார். இது போய் அவனுக்கு வானான்னு சொன்னா கூட அவன் வேண்டுமாக்குறவன் அவனுக்கு பக்கத்துலேயே இருப்பான் கிறிஸ்துவன், அவனுக்கு சொல்றது இல்லை, நாங்கள் தெரியல சார் எனக்கு ஒன்றும் அப்படின்வான். ஸோ அதனால் இதெல்லாம் இருக்குது சார். நான் ஏன் இந்த கிளர்ஜிங்க மேலே எனக்கு ரொம்ப பெரிய ஒரு மன வருத்தம் இருக்குதுன்னா சார், நான் சொன்னால் மேத்யூ சார் கேட்குறதில்ல சார், மேத்யூ சார் சொன்னால் நான் கேட்குறது. நம்ம 2 பேரும் லே பர்சன்ஸ், நமக்குள்ள 1008 ஈகோ இருக்குது. இந்த ஈகோ எல்லாம் இந்த கடவுளுடைய வார்த்தை மூலியமாக நம்மளுக்கு சரி பண்ண வேண்டியது அந்த கிளர்ஜி பொறுப்பு. அதானே சார் அவங்க பொறுப்பு. நம்மள உள்ளே இருக்கிற அந்த இதத்தெல்லாம் சரி பண்ணணும் தானே சார். அவங்க தானே சரியாக பண்ணி சார் ரைட் டியூன் பண்ணி அனுப்பணும். அவங்களே நம்மளை ரிப்பேரி பண்ணி அனுப்பிடுறாங்க சார். கோயிலுக்கு போகிற மட்டும் நல்லா இருக்கிறான் சார், கோயில் அந்த வாபஸ் வரும்போது அவன் தலைக்கு எடுத்துன்னு வரான். நான் தமிழ்காரன், நான் கன்னடாக்காரன் வரான் சார். இந்த மாதிரி ஆகி ரொம்ப பெரிய ப்ராப்ளம்ங்க இருக்குது. சாரி ஃபார் இது. இந்த சபைக்கு நான் பேசுனதெல்லாம் சரிப்பட்டுச்சோ இல்லையோ தெரில. ஆனால் கூட இதை யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கின்னு ஒரு 4 வார்த்தை பேசுகிறதுக்கு எனக்கு மேத்யூ சார் ஒரு அவகாசம் பண்ணி கொடுத்தாரு. அதுக்காக என் பேச்சை கூட நீங்கள் எல்லாம் கேட்டீங்க. அது எதுவும் சரியோ தப்போ பேசியிருப்பேன். எதனா தப்பாக பேசியிருந்தா தயவு செஞ்சு மன்னிங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு உங்கள் இது இருக்குது, அதில் நான் கூட உங்கள் ஜொதியில் இருக்கிறேன். ஓகே, இந்த டினாமினேஷனை சரி பண்ணுறதுக்காக, இந்த டினாமினேஷனை ரைட் வேல நடத்துறதுக்காக நீங்கள் எடுத்திருக்கிற முயற்சி என்னாக்குது. அந்த முயற்சியில் நான் கூட உங்கள் கூட இருக்கிறேன். என் கையில் எவ்வளோ ஆகுதோ அவ்வளோ நான் கூட உங்களுக்கு சகாயம் பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி உங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் நான் வணங்கி என் பேச்சை முடிச்சுக்கிறேன் சார். நமஸ்தே.
Let me take a few seconds to greetings to all of you for coming to listen to Dr. Kennedy from Karnataka. What an outstanding contribution to the people of God. He has such a love for Christians. He spoke words full of burden. He spoke the reality. His speech must have been listened by all the leaders of Southern Asia Division, because his heart is coming from social fabrics, the reality of India. Thank you for your presence. You made your point very clear, and we are blessed in this layman convention. And thank you for the honor of identifying with the lay people. And I believe your inspiration will take us to greater heights of service for God. And you have touched statistics that are very, very painful for us to listen. We don't have Christian IAS officers and top civic leaders. We gave education to India. We gave health to India. But we are being diminished, challenged. May we all come together. As a Seventh-day Adventist lay people, we are blessed by your talk. We look forward to God's blessing upon you as the chairman of Christian Development Council, and we look forward to your visit. This is Camp Revive. I want you to come with your family to spend few days here where we both can pray together.
Sure,
Bring your council members. We will have some discussion under you so that they all will be blessed. We will take care of your stay and accommodation and food. This is a great place for spending time together, reflecting upon God's work and binding our hearts together to work in the land of India. India is equivalent to 200 countries in the world because of our diversity, languages, caste and tribes. And may your voice become stronger and stronger. You are only 47, and in politics that is almost like a childhood. May I see you occupying great positions of social service. We are with you. I look forward to seeing you in greater service for God's people. Be the voice of Jesus. May you invite young people to come behind you. Teach us how to go and penetrate difficult bureaucracy, democracy, and hypocrisy. May God bless you. Take our prayers and God's blessing. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. All come. If we want to pray, I can ask Pastor Jayachandran, can you come and offer a word of prayer?
Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Loving Father, we thank Thee for the wonderful privilege that bestowed each one of to come to this layman convention. As for the past 3 days, we have been having this Congress with the deliberations, amendments. We thank Thee that the powerful lay people who participated from different parts of the country who have come over here and stayed for 3 days, and like a marathon, that we have many sessions, and you have blessed us abundantly. On top of it, that you have brought the chief guest, Elder Kennedy, to us, and with the 35-minute speech that he has pointed out, what all we have discussed in the 3 days, that we put ourselves into that spot, and we find that the difference of opinion, and also that is the distance of the leaders and the ladies, and also that how that the funds have been misused by the churches, all these things have been brought out by Elder Kennedy, and we are sorry to hear these remarks, but at the same time that as the small group that which we have assembled here, the grievances and all the amendments that what they have promulgated, which will be taken into consideration, and in the coming days, all these resolutions will be forwarded to the leaders, and hope and trust that God's leading hand will